Recording.
So this is the Ignite Your Business series. We took a little bit of a break, but kind of starting it up, and then starting next month, we're going to look at doing it in person. So you'll see those posts. I don't have the list of what we're doing. I think we're doing an Instagram one and a couple other ones, but we are going to do them in person. See how that goes. We haven't really done anything in person for a while. We are charging because we will supply lunch. So it's $10 lunch, which isn't too bad. But watch for those. We'll make sure that everyone here is on that list and we'll get those sent out. So the Small Business Development Center and Nebraska Enterprise Fund Center. I don't have Chrissy here with me today. Usually she's here. We co-sponsor these. Nebraska Enterprise Fund is a fund that we brought over into Nebraska. It's a revolving loan fund. It is a great opportunity for small businesses that can't get funded through banks. So we work with them a lot, and they are a great asset to our community. We can also share out Chrissy's information, or you can Google Nebraska Enterprise Fund and get a hold of one of their people. If you're working with me, you're working with them. So if you're working with me on getting financing, I am going to get them in touch with you. And working with SBDC is kind of your first start anyway to get everything ready. So anyway, that being said, the Small Business Development Center is a free resource for small businesses. We help existing businesses as well as startups. So anything that you're needing help with, we would love to help. My contact information, as well as this PowerPoint presentation, will be at the end. There's a QR code, or one of those flashy codes that you can take a picture of and get this presentation. So we're going to go ahead and start. I guess it's clicky. Okay, so building a social media strategy with the help of AI. So I've been doing a lot of, so I'm going to be transparent here. I'm not going to get into what AI is and what APIs are, and I am getting into that it is available for you to use and you should use it. So I kind of make explanations so it makes sense to me and therefore makes sense to you, but it's in no way like technology correct. I don't know the exact structure. I don't know those kinds of things, but I do know that it is a super great tool that we have in front of us right now. And if you're not using it, you're really at a disadvantage. So this is all about how you can use it for social media strategy, but you can also look outside the box, kind of how I was using it for this kind of thing. You can use it for business plan writing and pitch writing and, lots of different things. So, but we're going to start today with kind of boring stuff. So I didn't want to just jump into how you can use it, how you can use AI without explaining a little bit about social media strategy. So first, we're going to be talking about social media strategy and building that plan. And then everything that we're building, we use for AI. So AI is a great personal assistant, but we need to help it. We need to put in our information. So it's about building our details out and then putting it in and seeing how they can help us. Or how, yeah. Excuse me. So social media strategy first, and then media channels, content planning, and then the AI. So this is important and always has been, always will be. Well, maybe not always will be, but right now it's still very important. Channels change. Like people go to different places, but this is where we're getting our information, and this is where we're learning about new businesses. So it's important to note that 151 or more minutes are spent on average by people daily. And I know that's true. I think I exceed that because I finally had to embarrassingly turn my notification off on how much I spend on it. So now instead of like controlling it and doing it less, I just turn off the notification. I just don't need to know. 45% of all internet users turn to social media sites to research the problems that they're having or the products or services that they want to buy. So they're using that as a Google tool as well. So 92% of these consumers visit the brand's website or app after. So I actually have a little bit, not an argument, but a little bit of a debate with a younger entrepreneur saying that she didn't need a website because it's just the Instagram or just her social media channels. I do think that websites are super important still, intertwined with using social media, because that statistic right there, and this is from Sprout Special or Social, which is a reputable company, and it's a 2023 study, that 92% will visit the website or app. It's kind of like a validation, like, are they real? Where are they? What more do they offer? So I think it's important, that integration with everything, including websites, social media, back and forth. 89% buy from the brand. So if they're finding you on social media, that's a really good step in getting that lead and bringing them through to that buy. 85% choose that brand over competitor if they find them online. The more places they see you online, the more valid they're going to think you are, the more experienced or whatever you're putting forward. And 84% recommend that brand to friends or family. So just establishing still the importance of social media. So building that content strategy. So content strategy starts with kind of going back and aligning with your business goals and values. So it's revisiting who that target market is, what your message is, and what your goals are. So goals can be many, many things, including increasing sales, but not only increasing sales. It could be brand awareness, customer engagement. Do you want more leads? In fact, lead generation is really important, especially like on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. That's why we're there. It's hard to get that lead generation. So lead generation and then going to the increased sales. Oopsie. So the first thing is talking about who that target audience is. And by the way, if you have any questions, you can go put it in the Q&A or in the chat, whichever you are more comfortable with. I have Josh on the side waiting for those, so we can take little breaks and answer those questions or answer them at the end. So Josh will be monitoring those, so feel free. So you're looking for your ideal audience. So this goes back to even when you started your business, or if you're just starting your business, it's very much a big thing with your business plan. So it's the same thing. You want to define that ideal audience, and it's never everyone, never everyone. It's always a specific, and it's scary to kind of define that because you feel like you're shutting the door on other customers. Those customers are still going to come. They're just not your ideal customer. They're not that person that is going to keep coming back, that person that's going to refer you, the person that's really looking for a solution to the problem that you solve. So you're looking at demographics, you're looking at age, gender, location, income, education. And on top of that, you want to look at psychographics. So you want to go into a little bit more. And this is really important with like Instagram and the social media, because they keep track of these things. They know what we're interested in. They know our values. They know our lifestyles. They know our favorite book, all of those things. So really looking at those psychographics so that you can hyper target on social media, and really kind of focus your messages towards this target audience. So it's really important to sit back before just like jumping on posting, to really understand that audience. Could be one, could be two, it could be 5. If I'm getting up to like 10, 20, I think you need to like define it a little bit more, or target one at a time. That's getting to be a little bit too broad. That being said, it depends on your business. So if you're in a small town and you cut hair and then you're adding something else to it, or adding something else, and it's a lot of different target markets, you're basically taking advantage of your space and adding different things. So it really kind of depends, but for the most part, we want to focus, but there are a lot of instances individually that you might have completely different target audiences or products and services, but you want to separate those. So it's kind of like for every target audience, I'm going to have a different message. So if I have a B2B target target market businesses, my message or my value that I'm giving them is going to be different than if I have a B2C, a consumer walking into my store getting a haircut. Completely different message. So messages change with different target audiences and different products and different services. So doing research, or how do you figure out who that target market is? The first thing, and we talk about this a lot if you've ever worked with me on business planning, is customer discovery. Talk to people that you think would be interested in your product. It's the most important thing in starting a business and in business, and understanding your customers so that you're targeting perfectly or just right, so that you're finding those customers online and through social media. So talk, if you have existing customers, listen to what they're asking for, listen to what is important to them, listen to how they found you or why they need what you have, or so really talking to those customers, reaching out. I know it's the most uncomfortable thing to do, especially if you don't have customers yet, and you kind of have to. I always had that vision of going into a mall, and having like young. This is probably really aging me, but I remember going into malls and people would be like doing customer research with their little tablets and asking questions and surveys. Maybe not that, maybe make it more comfortable for yourself, but I do have that vision of people approaching and doing some customer discovery on their products. Oopsie. And the other thing is using social media analytic tools, using Google Analytics, using Google Insights. So I'm not going to really go into this a lot, but just Googling around, looking at different tools that the social media platforms have, and you can kind of see who is looking at your stuff. You can see who is looking at your competitor stuff. So you can really kind of see who that audience is. But just taking the time to kind of look. So after you're looking at your target markets, you might have a few for different messages, you might have a few for different products or services. Now you're crafting that message. It's very much, we have different definitions for different stages of your business of basically what a value proposition is. This is your message. It's very much basically your value proposition for each target market, each product, each service, each time of year. What is that message? So what problem are you solving? What needs are you fulfilling? For who? And what makes you better than anyone else? What are your customers searching for? So we want to know that so that we can craft our posts with these words. We can put hashtags in our Instagram posts. Very important, because this is what they're searching for. So if we can figure out those words, what they're searching for, those keywords, we can really target through social media who our message is getting. So creating a hashtag strategy before we start anything is really important. So what I usually do is first create your brand hashtags and your common hashtags. The 5, 6, 7 hashtags that you will, it doesn't have to be 5, but up to 7 maybe, that you will have on every post. So for me, it's my brand name, SBDC. It's small business. It's entrepreneurship. Council Bluffs, could be Council Bluffs small business. So having kind of that boilerplate of hashtags that is close by, copy paste, it's always on every post. And then for each post or each message, you are going to do research on, maybe it's a certain problem you're solving or a certain niche. So you're going to add those on, but have that boilerplate of hashtags If the other, if the other hashtags that you have to add on to particular posts are a lot, you can always delete some of those ones, but that way they're there, you know what they are, and they always go on those posts. So you want to research relevant trending hashtags. So if it's Christmas time and I am a gift store, what are the trending things people are looking up? Maybe it's stickers, vinyl stickers, Iowa merchandise. You want to like see what those trending hashtags are for that time of year, what people are looking for. Also using location-based hashtags like Council Bluffs Small Business, Southwest Iowa Small Business, Omaha Small Business, whatever it is. And then the next step is choosing your channels. So choose the channels where your customers are at. So I was at a conference and this little graph was excuse me, I'm talking too much and getting thirsty. This little graph here was presented. I'm not sure if I completely believe in it or if they're just kind of showing, because it's going to really vary for each business. But what they're saying is if you're tweeting to professionals, best places for you to be is LinkedIn, Twitter, or X. I actually found changed my presentation, so I had their new logo. And if your customer or your target market is consumers, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat. This is TikTok. I couldn't find their official logo, but that's TikTok. And then YouTube. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that you need to look at your individual business because I think that there are some businesses, so like marketers are heavy on Instagram, or, consultants, things like that, marketers. I already said marketers, but maybe even retail. If you're a retailer, you're looking for certain, if I sell tools for a retailer or tools for a service person, maybe digital products, things like that, that retailer is looking for that on Instagram. So I think you need to look really at your whole audience and what are the best. I would pick one at a time, maybe doing like Facebook, Instagram at the same time because they're kind of connected and you can post the same things, same reels, those kinds of things. So you can kind of combine those. I think Instagram is probably becoming a little bit more used for finding leads because Facebook, it's hard to, you don't use hashtags there. It's not as easy to find leads. It's better to talk to an existing customer that likes your page. But picking maybe one at a time, kind of perfecting it, and then maybe moving on like, okay, I'm going to put some of my posts on Pinterest because people are looking for ideas, if that's an ideal place for you. Snapchat is pretty young. So and I haven't heard a lot of updates on that. TikTok's getting huge, as you know, it is young, but everything that starts out young grows to the older. People like me are second adapters for sure, but we're starting to adapt. So we're on there. So don't discount everything just because that's really young people or my, 10-year-olds or my 15-year-olds or my 18-year-olds are here. I think it's becoming adaptive, all of them. So really looking at that customer. And it's hard for me to tell you which one is best. I think if there's testing, it's going on to each of these platforms, looking for your product. Is there anyone else on there? What's going on? And you can kind of tell from there where you want to be. Any questions, Josh? I don't see any. So
nope,
I'll keep going. Okay. So content plan creation, planning will help it. Like I said, we want to just jump on. Like, what can I post? I need customers tomorrow. I'm just going to post something. And I think if we sit back and do a plan, and I'm not saying like plan for a year and then do it, maybe plan the next week, at least start there, like on Sunday, make a plan for the next week. you get the hang of it, or you're more of a planner, make a plan for the month. And I am going to show you some easy ways to do that with AI. Like I said, we're just kind of getting through this necessary stuff first. I'm good on time. So in the content plan, and I am jumping through this, and I do work one-on-one with clients. I can certainly work with people on this and clarifying it a little more. Just combining two things in a hour class is a little difficult. So I'm kind of jumping through here. I don't want to leave things out, but I also want to get to the fun stuff at the end. So we're going to talk a little bit about content types. We're going to talk a little bit about creating a social media brief and creating a content calendar and doing some scheduling. All of this stuff that the target market and all of this stuff I'm going to go through is information that you're gathering. And when we get to the AI stuff, that is really important because you're basically going to put that information, like detailed information about your company, your target market, everything that we're doing here, into AI. And we'll talk about the different tools to come up with some pretty brilliant things. So different content types. These are, so we can have like motivational posts, informational, educational posts, humanizing posts that maybe about a case study or a client or a customer, or something going on in your community that you're helping with, a fundraiser. Celebration, so you could be celebrating customers, you could be celebrating employees, your promotional or bragging posts. Now, the rule has always been either 20/80 or 10/90 of hard sales, but I think you can still promote without having hard sales. So 10% of your posts should not be hard sales. But again, you really need to look at what type of business you are. Because if I'm a clothing boutique, the people I follow is the ones that do live sales. That's a hard sale, but I'm looking for it. I'm all about it, right? It's kind of like, I'm also all about when I go to Mexico and the people that come up to me and sell things on the beach. I'm all about that, and some people hate it. So I might be weird, but I just like to shop. But so you really need to look at your industry on figuring out what to post. But for the most part, like if you don't like a hard sale every time, your customers won't either. So just kind of think in that frame of mind. Motivational and inspirational posts, position or lead, and entertaining and engaging. So those are all the different types of posts. So I went ahead and created, and I'll show you how I created these. I created these with a combination of AI and Canva, which is awesome, through a bulk create. And I kind of have a little video that shows you how to do that. I created these literally, and they're not great. I would change words and things like that, but I literally created these in 5 minutes with using AI and then Canva. So a motivational and inspirational quote for me as the SBDC director, something about leading in the community, informational and educational, so you can see the different types of posts. Now, I probably would mix this up and do some reels or do carousels, or for sure have a call to action on these. So the principles, these aren't the best in best practices, because you should have, again, you should have a call to action: come to my website, purchase this, sign up for an appointment, comment here, share. You should always have some kind of call to action. Now that call to action can be in different places in your posts, if it's Instagram or Facebook, so it doesn't have to necessarily be in the picture. But this is just showing the different types of posts. So you might look at those content types. What you want to do, and I think it's the next slide, is kind of go, okay, I'm going to post once a day. And to make it easy for yourself, and no one's really going to see this in the background, you could say on Mondays, I'm going to post information and educational posts. And Tuesday, I'm going to do inspire, motivate. You can also look at your industry and go, okay, which one of these fits in to my industry? Am I high tech? Might not want to do a lot of, of maybe, I don't know why you want to motivate, but maybe just once a month, maybe it's not as important. Whereas if you're in another industry, that is part of your company's personality. So you want to do that every Friday. Or you're very much part of the community. So you want to do connections and connections with the community every Friday. So you can kind of take these types of posts, what fit best with your industry, and kind of make a schedule for yourself, Monday through Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever it is. As far as, and I know we have a couple questions. Oh, nope, that's Josh. And yes, George, the PowerPoint, you'll have a QR code at the end of this. So yeah, as far as frequency, start with what you can handle, but be consistent. It's 1 a week, more could be better, but if 1 a week is what you can handle and you can do it consistently and start building up really good posts that are relevant and start building up that audience, do that. If you can handle once a week, do that. But just make sure that it's something that you can kind of grow into and handle it and be consistent. So this example of maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a content types weekly plan. So we're just gathering all of this information. The next thing is to create a creative brief. So create a brief. It doesn't matter if it's like exactly what's in a creative brief, but it's just those important things. Your message, your target audience. What are your goals? What's the tone and style of your company? Is it for children? Is it witty? Is it fun? Is it cool? Is it business to business, blue suit, high tech talk? So you're writing all this down. So you want to take a piece of paper out or a Microsoft Word document and kind of take the information from what you've done before with your target audience and messages, and write this down. Preferably on a computer, because you're going to want to have it in there in a computer for the next steps. What kind of types of visual elements are you looking at? What holidays, seasons, times of year are important? From that keyword and hashtag research, what are your main hashtags? What are your references? What's your review and approval process? I mean, not all of this has to be in there. What's important to you? So you want to just get this all written down. When I get to the AI part, I'm going to show you a little bit about this, but basically the more details you put into this assistant, like ChatGPT, the more information you're going to get out of it. If I could go and write a 50-page business plan through ChatGPT by saying, I am starting a coffee shop in Council Bluffs, Iowa, write me a business plan, it will spit me out 30 pages of fluff and not really relevant stuff. It's basically from what it's learned of the volumes of information that's inside of it, it's taking all of the other coffee shops that it's read about and putting those things in there. So it's making up menus, it's doing its own research. It's not relevant to what you're doing. Now, and same with write a creative brief for a coffee shop, it would do it, but it's not going to include your relevant things. So what you want to do instead is say, write a social media plan. Here's my creative brief. Write this as a creative brief or write the posts. We'll kind of go through that. But putting that information in is going to get a much better output that you have researched. So once you kind of come up with your calendar, the content types, and what you're posting, and I'm going to show you how to use AI to create posts. Of course, you can do that yourself, which is great, but there are some great tools to help you create the posts. But this is type of tool can be helpful. For some people, or it could just be writing it down, or it could just be a Word document, whatever's helpful. But basically, like I said, if you plan for the week, great. If you plan for the month, great. But doing planning will help you. You can also bulk create. So by using, and I think that's the next slide, you could have all of these posts up on social media waiting to post for each day. So I'm going to create Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday posts. Here's the content, here's the visual. I'm going to do this all on Sunday. I'm going to use a scheduling tool and post it. And it's just going to automate. And all I have to do is just monitor, look, and maybe add a few different things in there, maybe a live here or there, but at least the bulk of it is going in there and you're monitoring for comments, shares, questions, things like that. These are the scheduling apps that are kind of out there. Hootsuite's kind of been around forever. Even Facebook and Instagram, you can schedule. There are some advantages to using an app like Hootsuite because you can add YouTube and LinkedIn and do some other things that aren't just related to a certain company. But I'm not going to go through all of these. You can research these, call me and ask any questions. Hootsuite has a free, I think it used to be up to 2 or 3 accounts. All of these kind of are freemium. Not all of them. I think some of them start out with a pay. But if they start at free, there's definitely a premium charge at the end. All right. So we're going to get into AI. How much time do I? Oh, I have plenty of time. Are we good on questions? Yep. Ah. Okay. So like I said in the beginning, my disclaimer, I'm not going to go through and tell you how these things work. I'm going to show you what works for me and what has been very successful for other small businesses. And I think it's nice to know the how, but that's another couple hours. So basically, we're talking about these tools. So large language model chatbots. These are the main ones. There's a lot of them coming out. But basically, these are the large language models that the ChatGPT works off of. OpenAI, which is the large language model. ChatGPT is their chatbot. Google Bard is the chatbot that works off of no, I just lost the name of Google's, but Google has a large language model. Claude is another large language model, and DALL-E is basically OpenAI's large language model for images. There are a lot of their image ones. I'm not really talking about images in this presentation too much. I really love the language of the chat bots to help with social media. The image ones, they're coming. But if you don't want 6 fingers and 7 fingers, things like that. But I do use the image ones are fun to kind of play with, but for social media purposes. So ChatGPT, you can just go and Google that and sign in for a free account. You can also pay for ChatGPT 4, which is, I believe, $20. Right now, what I'm doing on here is all on the 3.0. The only thing about ChatGPT is its knowledge base ends in 21. But it's still, so it's not real-time current information. Most of the demonstrations I'm doing today are on ChatGPT. Bard is Google's. And the big difference here with Bard is that it is based on search. So it is based on real-time information. Now, we all know that the internet is always 100% true, right? Not. So when we're doing Bard and it's looking at the entire internet, plus the languages it's learned through the learning model, it could be pulling wrong information. So we need to double check. I'm going to show you a little bit what I use Bard for. So ChatGPT is a great writer. as long as you're adding that information that is personal to your brand and to your target markets, it's really going to be helpful for helping you write posts and things like that. Google Bard is great for research and stats. And what are the top 10, that graph that I had up here, right here? It's not super fancy, but I asked Bard for the top 10 scheduling apps in 2023. So it probably looked at different sites and different things that rank them. So this is what I got. And then I asked, can you please put it in table format? So I copied this right from, well, it transported into Google Docs, and then I copied it right there. So
we do have one question. What are the benefits do you get for using premium over the free-based AI?
Okay, you're echoing, so let me read it. So as far as the benefits on the paid, there's a lot more apps, there's a lot more plugins. I honestly haven't played with it a lot. I am finding ChatGPT 3 very useful, but you can do things like add an Excel app or plugin, so to speak, to it. It also, ChatGPT 4 is going to be where the updated information is. I am not positive. I read an AI newsletter like 5 every day. And you hear people saying, well, they say it's up to date, but it's not, so, but that is where kind of all the bells and whistles go. And so the ChatGPT 3 might not be as robust, not as up to date. And if there's any kind of plugins, so basically with ChatGPT, I'll show you some videos. You're generating a post or you're generating a business plan. With some of the plugins, you can actually like put it into a PowerPoint. Well, I'm not sure about a PowerPoint, but I'm going to talk about those integrations. So like think of ChatGPT, Bard, Claude. These are kind of like raw, like it's not giving you a lot of formatting. So the ChatGPT 4 is where the bells and whistles are. I am finding, I would suggest playing around with ChatGPT 3 for a while, reading up on it. I think at some point you'll want to be on chat, paying that pro, but I would learn what you want to use with it, all of that. Claude, I use Claude, and again, just Google Claude, and it's free. I think I found out the hard way because I was helping my daughter with homework. That you have 10 asks a day, basically. So make sure you ask a lot in one question or in one go. I was asking like one question at a time. So all of these are chat bots, so you can have conversations with them, so you can keep the conversation going. The reason why I use them like Claude is when I have a large document. So say I have a research document that Josh pulled off about an industry and it's 20 pages PDF. It will read that and I can say, hey, Claude, can you extract the most important information that would help a small business understand the feasibility, blah, blah, blah. And it will read it and it will extract that information. So it just helps with that. So I do like Claude for being able to attach things. Josh, you may know this, I don't. ChatGPT 3 does not have a paperclip or attach so that I can attach document. The plus version or ChatGPT 4 may, but I'm not positive. You don't know that, do you, Josh?
I know that ChatGPT 3 does not have that attachment.
Okay. So that's why I use Claude. Again, these are the ones that I use. You'll see other ones. Under here is the integrations. So I call it the Wild West because there are tons of them. So basically, Canva, beautiful AI does PowerPoints. I think we all know what Canva is. Copilot is Microsoft. And they're integrating AI into like their email and their PowerPoint. I think it's available for industry right now, large corporations over 500 people, and it's $30 per person. So when it comes to us, who knows what that subscription will be, but it will be either a part of your Microsoft subscription or an additional. Wix, if you have a website on Wix, they have integrated in some of their text box and other applications, ways to use AI. Local AI creates logos. There's just a ton of these. There's integrations in the products that we use every day. There's new products coming out. But the difference between these integrations and these are these are using a large language model. So you can do, like, I can create a logo and it's going to be rough and I might have to do some tweaks to it through DALL-E, which is the image generator. But Beautiful AI is taking it and they're connecting to DALL-E through an API and they're creating their own prompts. They're putting in their own information. It's kind of like what I talked about. You want to put all your information in and it's going to be a better prompt. So these people are hooking, these companies are hooking into these large language model chatbots or large language models and creating basically their own little chatbot. A lot of these are going to cost. So you'll see like, oh, there's another one that does PowerPoints. They're hooking into these. So we have the raw data available to us that we can use, or tech companies are, integrating the AI into their companies, basically writing those prompts for us or making it easy for us to get those ideal results. I think this is going to calm down and we're going to see a lot of it in Microsoft. I don't know this for sure, but I'm just guessing. A lot of it in Canva. Canva already has a ton and it's super helpful and fun. Wix. Another one I use a lot is LivePlan, which is a business planning. So there's these differences. But what I am using mostly is playing around with this. I do use the integrations in the products that I already have, like Canva, Wix. Okay. Fingers crossed that my videos work here. I just videoed the screen of me doing this, so it wasn't confusing. So this is my prompt. Let's say this is my creative brief, or I'm asking for a creative brief. I would add a lot more information in here. I want my target markets. I was in a hurry, so I wasn't very detailed, and I don't yell, but I always tell clients like detail, and then I show up not with detail. I would add target markets in here, but this is basically my prompt. So the more information, this could be 2 pages of information, just all the details. I own a small business in Southwest Iowa. I am a boutique collecting other small businesses' unique gifts. My mission is to offer sustainable, beautiful products made or sold by small businesses. These include housewares, clothing, baby gifts. Can you create a brief for me for a social media plan for a year, including special seasons and holidays? Okay, here's where the magic is. Oh, is this not going to play because I'm on here? Yes, it is. Okay, I want to be here. Okay. Oops, screwed that up. Okay, so I plopped up. This is a video type of ChatGPT. I put this post in. You can see it here. So it answered that prompt. Here's the start. It just wrote my creative brief for me. So that prompt is exactly what I put in here. I put it in the box right here, and then you just send. This right here is where you can clip it. Usually there's some formatting cleanup to clipping it. You always want to do that because I can tell right away if you're like publishing this that it's ChatGPT, because it has some weird little nuances with the formatting. And you always want to read it through, especially if you're like publishing a post and making sure that it's your voice. Okay, so I asked this. Let's see, and then we're going to play it. It's going to go. Yeah. So I asked it specifically where did that go? To do months. There it is. So the creative plan, and then it's like doing month by month different themes, kind of my creative brief. So it added, September, August, different ideas. And then I'm speeding up this video because I was having trouble writing that. Let's see. Okay, I'm going backwards. Okay. So I said, thank you. That is super helpful. Can you now create suggested posts for the month of January? So it's pulling from the conversation that I had before, with Monday's content type being humanize, connect. So I'm putting in my content types. Wednesday, promote and brag. Friday, inform and educate. So it's writing me these things. Monday, humanize, connect. So all of these posts, and I would look through these and use them as ideas. You can also use ChatGPT and go, okay, for the humanize connect, can you actually talk about clients, or can you refocus it to this? So you can keep that conversation up and ask for different things. So now I'm asking, sorry if this is a little clunky. That. Okay, wow, thanks. I'm always very polite to my chatbots, because you never know. So I asked it to write posts. So wow, thanks. Can you add the text for posts as well as great hashtags? Now I would have probably when I first asked for the creative brief, I probably would have added all of my hashtags and target markets into that, so it already knew what my branded hashtags were. It types way faster than I did. That was real time of me typing. And this is real time of ChatGPT typing. So now I'm getting all of these wonderful posts and ideas and image suggestions, which is awesome. So it's taking care of at least really helping me with planning my January. Now on the PowerPoint that I have, the videos won't be active. I don't think, maybe they will be. Yeah, they probably will be. Oh no, because I PDF'd it. But I highly suggest just going in there and trying these different things. So the next one is, okay, so now I am going to show you a little trick with Canva. So now what I'm doing is I'm asking ChatGPT. So this was kind of the end of the conversation. I think in the video I scroll back up. But I asked for quotes for 12 motivational, inspirational quotes that I can sprinkle into my content. So I have a month worth of posts, right? But now I just want to do some sprinkles of some motivational posts. So I'm asking it for 12 quotes that I can put into maybe Instagram throughout the year or throughout the month or whatever. And I'm going to show you how I use Canva to bulk create these. So here's I went to the top. So here's the quotes. I asked it to clean it up so that I could copy paste it. It had all those emojis and whatnot. So I asked it, can you just give me the quotes with no emojis or formatting at all? So now it did. So now I'm kind of speeding this up. I copy pasted that, as you can see. So I just went right in and copy pasted. This is actually a Google Sheet. Oops, I'm sorry. So this is a Google Sheet. I'm going in here and I'm going to paste. I'll just let it play. Paste. I pasted all my things. So now they're all in different lines. I'm saving this. As a comma separated value. So I saved it. And now I'm going to jump into Canva. I'm creating an Instagram post square. I just picked a template. It's not the best template that I picked, and I would have, you'll see kind of the result. I would have changed things. I would have changed the font and things like that. But I picked this. And now I'm going into apps. Eventually, oh, I think I made this smaller. I'm making the font smaller. Took me forever. It's really hard to videotape. I'm like, I think I know it well enough. It's going to go smoothly. So now I'm going into apps or bulk create. Well, that would have been the button. You can also find it in apps, but bulk create is right there too. So it's called bulk create. It's right on the top there. Push it. And I'm uploading that CSV file that I just saved. So now I'm going to click the box where I want this content to go. Eventually. And connect data. And I am putting that in there. And you can see it's a little squished. It's not the prettiest post, but I just went with it. So then I'm going to hit continue on the left-hand side there. Right down here. And here's all my posts. I hit create. And now I have 12 posts. So then I would go in there and change the backgrounds. So everyone has a different background, but save me time, bulk created. I can go and maybe put a picture of my shop or whatever on the background. It's just basically, if you know Canva, and if you don't know Canva, it is a great tool. And that is something that I think I pay $13 a month for Pro. It does open up Canva a lot more. And I think if you're creating a lot of things like this, I could teach a whole nother class on Canva, and maybe I will. But there's a lot of really cool tips, and it's becoming pretty sophisticated, but keeping the simplicity of using Canva. So I love Canva. I think it's a great tool for small businesses. Okay, and one last, I'm up 3 minutes. So this is what I use Bard for. So I asked Bard, so I'm on Bard, just go to Google Bard. It is an experiment, but it's letting most people in now. So it's getting better with truth, I guess, or like true facts, but I use it for statistics. So I am a small business in Iowa that sells handmade and small business sustainable gifts and items. Can you look through demographic information and suggest the best target markets? So it's giving me different target markets. I'm going to continue the conversation. And say, I'm in Potawatomi County. What are the statistics relevant to these markets? So it's breaking these down. It's probably using places like census.gov and giving me some specific median household income numbers, which is awesome. I mean, that it's out there and you can find it, but this is just making it easier. I do warn you that I would go, so you can actually ask Bard, what are your sources? So I could go in and ask Bard what his sources are, or her, or whoever it is. And it will say census.gov. And then I can go check these numbers. It will give me that link and I can get right there. So it's giving me those stats. And then I asked for, I asked for competitors in my area. So here's a list of handmade gift shops in Southwest Iowa and Omaha area. And if I was missing one, I could say, what about this one? And maybe it would give it to me. So that is pretty cool stuff. Okay, I see I have a couple questions. Here, oops. That is the end of it, unless there's questions, and I see that there's 3, so I'll take a look at it. But this is the QR code that will take you to that PowerPoint. Let's see. Oh, Canva class. Yes, I should really do that. Okay, I'm gonna do a Canva class. We'll send that list out. I know that there was one that we had like a duplicate, so maybe I'll put that in there. But any other questions or suggestions for classes are open. I thank everyone for coming. Please give Josh or I a call. If you want one-on-one help, that is what we do. I mean, mostly what we do is one-on-one technical assistance. So we're more than happy to go through this stuff with you one-on-one. We also have a great work area here. We're at Iowa Western and Loftow. So if you ever just want to, you know what, I'm going to do a social media plan and I want to sit at Sue's and Josh's office and I can sit out in their work area and they're here and they can help me. We love that. So, but give us a call first to make sure we're here, but we love doing that kind of stuff too. So thank you all. And we will see you soon. Appreciate it.